What is up, YouTube? Johnny B here, coming to you from the engine bay of my initialized FRS, and looks like I might have some explaining to do. But in this video, we're gonna go ahead and take out two FRS engines, install one FRS engine, and then go pick up another one. So you gotta watch the video to see what's going on. So here we are with the Rocket Bunny FRS. Today is going to be a very sad day because we have a blown engine, but it's over there. My engine's still good. I'm going to be selling it, so I need to go ahead and take it out because another engine is going to be going in here, and with that the turbo kit needs to come out, and this thing will probably be immobilized for weeks, maybe a month, maybe days. I don't know how long, but let's go ahead and get started. So let me show you guys the progress. So far, we have taken out the turbo kit. Look at that. Turbo kit is completely out now. Disconnected a bunch of different lines. All the fuel lines got disconnected. The actual oil cooler, that's disconnected too. It's just in its position like that. I went ahead and came and set the turbo kit inside. So that's like the main component right there. Two of the main components, and then just a bunch of little add-ons that I need to go ahead and keep removing. And it's fairly simple the way a turbo kit works. So let's continue removing stuff. After a bit more progress, I now have the intake manifold off. I know it's not necessary when you're removing an engine. I clearly didn't remove it over there. But there's a lot of aftermarket parts that I need to keep for my new engine, so I'm going to be putting the stock stuff back onto this engine and keep all the stuff that I'm going to need for my new engine. So that's why I'm taking it apart. It's not really wasting me any time, it's just actually speeding things up because I'm gonna need to remove them anyways. It just makes it a little bit easier to access certain things. For example, where I plugged the oil catch can, the top bolts that actually hold the transmission on are a little bit more accessible now, and it just overall clears up a better path for me to set up the engine cooler, so that way I can go ahead and bolt it on specific locations where I couldn't with the actual intake manifold on. So looks like the only thing left to do is finish taking off the top bolts from the transmission, and I should be able to pull the engine out. The engine is now out. Pretty crazy sight to see that the engine is no longer in my car, as it is over here. What you do is swap out accessories, harness, just to make sure that it's not a different harness, and basically just swap as much as I can back onto the engine from the original motor to make sure that everything is working properly. So here are both engines. Swapping over all of the parts from the same car just to make sure you know that all the sensors are going to be working properly, because it's a 2014 engine into a 2013, so everything seems to be the same, but I'd rather just go ahead and put the stuff that actually came with that car, just obviously with another engine that actually works. Here we have harnesses, throttle bodies, some of the coolant lines, direct injectors, just swapping everything over. So it's very sad to see the initialized FRS as it is without an engine. Definitely a rare sight I would never expect it to see. This is the blown engine. This thing got a hole right in the side of the head. See if I can show it to you guys. Right there. And then here is my engine going into this Rocket Bunny V2 BRZ Limited. Got it all put together with all the correct stuff. And it's about time to drop it in. So this is gonna be the fun part. So here is what I'm using. And there you can see the FRS. Sad, it's not alive right now. Got its guts spilled all out. But soon it will have a new heart. But for now, this car is getting a heart transplant. And I am doing surgery right now. So let's go ahead and get this into the car. So here we are, the engine is now in. I do still need to hook it up to the transmission and then bolt up the motor mounts and start putting in, for example, the AC compressor right here, which I did not disconnect because I don't want any Freon going anywhere. And basically just start piecing it all back together. Since this is a stock engine BRZ, it's fairly easy. My FRS was a real big pain in the butt to take the engine out because of all the extra mods like oil cooler, catch can, upgraded oil pan for the turbo manifold, the turbo itself, some little Velox pieces that cover up the direct injection ECU. Just a bunch of little things here and there that were extra connections. Another one was the flex fuel kit. So it made it a bit more difficult. It's gonna be much easier putting it into this car because there's not any mods. It's just complete stock, and I basically put the engine back to stock. So it would work perfectly with this BRZ. So this is the new engine that's gonna be going into my car. Drove all the way to Tucson to pick it up. We actually got to test drive the car and see it running inside the car before purchasing it. So that gives me the peace of mind that I know that the engine was built properly. Oh yeah, this is a fully built motor. It's not just a regular engine going into my FRS. We're gonna have a fully built engine that is gonna be able to handle more boost, and we're not gonna be afraid of blowing a rod out of the engine. So I'm pretty happy with the purchase. The difference between me selling my engine and me buying a fully built one was roughly $800. So for $800 more, I have a fully built engine. Most people spend like 6 to 8 grand to get a fully built engine. So to me, that's way too much. And I was able to just find a used one locally where the guy decided to go LS swap with a T56 transmission. So he had no use for his built block, but he was dailying it on low boost. So I know that the engine is good and I'm not worried about it. But this will be able to handle some very nice power figures. So I can't wait to put it in the car, put the turbo kit on, and dyno it and see how much power we can make. All right, guys. So we are here in the FRS. It's kind of sad to see the way it is without an engine, but better things are coming. Obviously, the built motor's coming. Turbo wise, I'm not sure if I'm gonna either upgrade the turbo just so I have a faster spooling turbo, because since that engine is a little bit lower compression at 10.5 over the 12.5 that the factory engine is, I'm gonna need a little bit more boost to make the same power. And if I wanna make more, I'm gonna need to push like 16, 20 plus pounds of boost in this thing, where the max boost I had in it before was only 12 pounds. So it's either sell my turbo kit
and buy a whole nother turbo kit with a much bigger turbo, or what I'm looking into is a Garrett GTX 3076R, or just buy the Garrett GTX 3076R and put it on my turbo kit. So I'm still debating what to do. You know, if someone buys my turbo kit, I might just go ahead and buy a whole nother brand new turbo kit, spend a little bit of extra cash, but get that better turbo so we can be making more power. Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit more reliable now with the built motor, and I'm not gonna have any issues or with the built engine. And I'm not gonna be afraid to push it, because on track I was running it on 8 pounds of boost. I wasn't pushing it hard at all, just in case, you know, you never know what can happen. So this is a little bit of a safer route. I thought about going LS or 2J, but it's just too expensive and a lot of headache, and I would probably do it myself, and wiring is not one of my specialties, and that's probably one of the most expensive parts of doing an LS swap, to get everything to work, or a 2JZ swap. So with a built motor, or a built engine actually, I don't know why I keep saying motor, we can just swap it in and be done with it. Make up to 500 horses, maybe a little bit more depending on what the engine can handle, and call it a day for 800 bucks more, be making the power and not be worried about blowing it. I think it's a pretty big win. So leave your comments or any ideas that you guys might have down below. And as always, you guys have a great day.